Well, good evening, everybody. Captain Namco here. No, it's not the usual live stream. Um, but before I get to what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to do a scripture reading video tomorrow sometime. We'll be starting in the second chapter in the book of John. So there's that. So be ready for that. I'll probably do that tomorrow evening. Haven't fully decided yet what time I want to do it or how I'm going to do it yet. But anyway, so I'm starting to see videos now where our current president has basically, dropped out of the presidential races. However, the Democratic Party felt like it was probably about time that he did that, and a lot of people already seen it coming, so it's really not much of a big surprise, honestly. But at the same time, yeah, I don't like Democratic politicians. I don't support Democrats. I never have. So therefore, I am not a Democrat. So there's that. But do I wish any kind of issues on anybody, Democrat or not? No. But at the same time, I feel like it's best for our country that he did that. However, we may be looking at another problem. And I feel like I need to get the word out because our governor here in Illinois was talking about possibly running for president this year. And I really don't think people understand the magnitude of what he's capable of doing. And because he literally has destroyed the economy here in Illinois. I mean, and he's pretty much taxed us to death here. He has doubled the license plate sticker fee by more than 50%. Gas tax 47 cents a gallon now here. Diesel tax is up to 54 cents. Well, more than that probably. What do you think this guy's going to do to the whole entire nation? He's going to do the same thing. And I don't think people across the United States really sees that. And it's sad to say that, one person has us dangerously close to World War III, while the other guy, we didn't even have to worry about them wanting to nuke us when the other person was in office. But now, let me look. Okay, so I'm going to read this. So our president has announced he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. With all the speculation over who could replace him, big question is, would Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker be a possibility? The president had posted his decision to bow out of the race on Sunday on social media and endorsed his Vice President Harris as a Democratic nominee. Despite his endorsement, Harris has not been officially selected as a nominee for president in 2024 for the election this year. Shortly after Biden's announcement, Pritzker, the Illinois governor here, had issued a statement on his decision. He did not mention the current vice president or if he plans to seek the Democratic nomination. But he did vow to work every day to ensure Trump doesn't win the election. So right there is clear to me that the Democrats do rig the election. And it goes to show you that this country is divided. I do want to point something out, though. Something my mom told me several months ago, that way before even my time, way before any of us was even thought of. Way back in the day, the Democrats and Republicans worked with each other. They weren't divided. They they basically met halfway, and they were able to come up with some kind of solution and say, okay, I'll meet you halfway on this if you'll work with us. But now we got all this thing what we call mudslinging. So there's that. So be ready. However, our current has dedicated his life in service to his nation, citizens, all the better for it. He has a storied political career culminating in one of the most accomplished and effective presidencies of our lifetime. Supposedly. I don't believe that. As a president of the United States, he supposedly led us through the recovery from the devastating pandemic. I don't think so. The only thing good he did was the stimulus checks. And shepherd our economy away from recession. Bullcrap, because it still went to recession. He worked across the aisle to pass some of the most consequential legislation in decades to rebuild our roads. Bullcrap. If he did, then why is some of the other roads across the nation still in rough shape? So I don't believe that. Cool. Anyway, he also supposedly worked across the aisle to pass some of the most consequential legislation in decades. Like I said, to rebuild our roads. And again, where? I don't believe that. Because a lot of our roads here across the nation are still in bad shape. Nothing is getting done. And at the same time, while supposedly doing all this, he also supposedly, while investigating infrastructure and jobs of the 21st century, perhaps most consequentially, our so-called president restored dignity to the Oval Office, supposedly, and bringing the statesmanship and honor that have been the hallmarks of his years of service back to the White House, supposedly. And again, he has done nothing good. He's literally destroyed this country. Our so-called president has right now. He has us dangerously close to World War III, and I don't get it. And Pritzker, our evil governor here in Illinois, he was wanting to do anything he can to keep our keep Trump from winning. And that just goes to prove to you right there that this country is divided. And I never thought that this country would be as divided as it is today. I personally thought, growing up, I personally thought that this wouldn't even happen, to be honest with you. But now, unfortunately, between the Democrats, the Republicans, and liberal, everyone is divided. Everybody works with their own team. Nobody meets halfway. You got what I like to refer to as what's going on as mudslinging. But I think it's the best news this country could ever have to see our current president to back out. Because, I mean, look at his health. I don't wish on anybody, but he looks like his health is going downhill. I don't wish it on anybody, but yet at the same time, I don't support him as our president. I will never vote Democrat. Never. Nobody can pay me enough to do it. But I'm going to tell you right now. Anybody. Now I'm going to say it to anyone. For the simple fact that I do not support Democratic politicians, I mean zero Democratic supporters has knocked on our door here at where I live. But I'm going to tell you, and I'll tell them nicely, you either leave or I'll make sure that you will be, this house will be the last door that you ever knock on. And you better pass that to your buddies too. Because I will not support Democrats. I will have them arrested for solicitation. As simple as that. I don't, and I'm by no means threatening anybody, but I will not, by what I mean by you will be the last door that this house will be the last door you knock on, because I will simply have you escorted off this property by the police. Simple as that. Now, I only support Republicans. I personally think that if the White House saw a change of pace, I think this country would be a lot better off. I think that in some way, somehow, some form, that if the Republicans led for once, we might actually be better off and things might actually get done. But I don't care if people unsubscribe to me because I'm not a Democrat. I don't care if people don't like the fact that I'm a Republican. It is my right, not yours. What people don't understand, why I will never vote Democrat, is because they have been after our Second Amendment rights since day one. It has been a goal of theirs for the longest time. Grocery prices have shot through the roof because of them. And ironically, people think that because when gas hit $5 a gallon, they thought it was because of our president. You would be surprised, and it might sound stupid. The president don't have any control over what the gas prices do, but I do believe he can put in an order to have something shut off that will affect how the gas prices run. Now, people said, or was already blaming him for the fact that inflation hit a 40-year high, and it literally shot through the roof. And look at our current governor here. Restaurants are barely able to stay open because of him. When we was in phase 3 or 4, and everything was able to reopen, he kept everything closed because he was all for it. He was hoping and expecting us. He was hoping that we would, and he was also expecting us to live off the stimulus checks. Why? When people are capable of working. And two, now they're trying to take our Second Amendment rights away. And it's all, people are saying it's all on the Democrat side. Now, come on. Why is there a bunch of mudslinging going on? This is why we are in the mess we are in. Friends, it's time that we straighten up, when do what we think is right, do what we feel, how we feel we should run the country, rather than trying to attack a law-abiding citizen's rights and trying to force things on other people, such as electric vehicles, for example. I am 100% against electric vehicles. 100%. Yeah, they're nice looking, but I'll never have one. That is my right. So, I mean, there's a big difference here. This is where I differ from a lot of my friends. This is where I differ from a lot of people. But I'm telling you, you vote for our governor here, this country is in a lot of trouble if the Illinois governor gets into office. That's my belief. If he becomes president. And I think it's time we open up our eyes and start doing our research, start doing our homework, start educating ourselves on who we're voting for. But yet, meanwhile, our stupid dipstick governor here in Illinois is going to try to do everything he can to sabotage the election to where Trump cannot win. This is what I've been trying to preach to people. It is crazy. It's time we fly right. And stop the mudslinging. Because if we don't, this country will be divided forever. This is why we are divided. Because we got people on both sides mudslinging each other, flinging mud in each other's faces. So, people want to believe the bullcrap lies. Okay, whatever. That's on you. But don't entice somebody to vote the opposite of what they normally vote for when they choose to remain Republican or Democrat. Don't force the fact. Let them vote how they want to vote. Let them do the research for their parties. You do your research for your own. But I want to tell you this. Make sure you vote for the right person. But I'll never vote Democrat, so there's that. There is no Democrat fit, in my opinion, to run this country. Though it has been going on for many years. Okay? I just pray that the people will wake up before it's too late. I don't know about you, but I'd rather see my brother grow up and go through high school. I'd rather see my nieces and nephews grow up, for heaven's sakes. But that's not gonna, that's obviously in jeopardy as long as we have idiots in the White House having us dangerously close to World War III. I really fear for that. Because our current so-called current president can't keep his nose out of trouble and can't quit making people over in Russia mad. Now here they are wanting to nuke us, right along with North Korea. So there you go. That, my friends, is why this country will always be divided. If we can't work together, if we can't meet halfway with either one, this country will always be divided. But I'm going to tell you straight up, I'll be darned if I'm going to stand here and let somebody attack my rights. Because I will come out fighting like a raging bull. You will not take my rights away because here's what the Democrats are not getting. If they want to take our Second Amendment rights away and the guns, guess what? They're doing it to themselves too. Let that sink in. And I hope every Democratic clown gets that through their head. Because if you want everybody to lose their guns, you're doing it to yourself too. I'm telling you that. I'm laying the facts out right here. And it just doesn't get any worse than that. It's time to face the harsh reality here. You want to keep your Second Amendment rights? Watch who you vote for. Do your research. Yeah, they might say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then turn around and stab us in the back. And guess what? Boom, we're right back here, and it's back in square one again. I'm telling you, we need help. This country is in trouble. We better be praying for our nation, our country, our rights, everything. So, I hope you guys get something out of it. Have a great night. Before I go, I just want to mind you all, Jesus loves you and God bless. Thanks for watching.